did you hear the news about the leak today? Yeah, it's from Fuji. Don't tell anyone though. So if you haven't heard about it, now you're going to. You clicked on the video, you know the title anyway, so spoiler alert, we now have heard basically all of the almost official, basically official leak specs of the upcoming Fuji camera, the X100V. So this camera is coming basically a little bit longer than it normally does. The X100F, very popular camera. The X100 line, if you're in the Fuji portable size, portable street type of cameras, is one of the most popular in the market. The X100F arrived in February of 2017. So now in 2020, basically a year more than the normal product cycle comes out, we're gonna have this, and it's been leaked thanks to Fuji Rumors and a lot of the detective work that they do. I do selectively choose leaked and spec videos to make very, very heavily, and I've done that in the past couple years. And when I'm confident about something is the only time I'll talk about it, but very confident with this one. I mean, Fuji Rumors and their sources got everything right about the X100F before for the most part. So we're gonna talk about the X100V, something that we're gonna hear about most likely on February 4th. So I originally had the first X100, and it was one of the pretty innovative cameras for myself, and it was very easy to use. I really enjoyed it, but then I wanted to get more into video, etc. But the X100 line is something that's been special to me, just like I enjoyed the similar Ricoh line, GR2, GR3, which I reviewed just the other year. So this is what I like to call in my wheelhouse, and I'm like close to just wanting to go down to that. But the one thing I hear about the X100V, and hopefully this part of the rumor isn't true, is that it might be $1,500 US. 1,500 to be in that line, not the 1,200, 1,300. The couple extra $100 more really kind of makes it a little bit ridiculous if that's true. So if that's true, I'll link that down below in a pinned post when everything's fully official. That's not a good look. So there are some upgrades going from the F to the V. It's a weird kind of skip in the alphabet right there, but you're going to get a little bit of a punch right here. You're also going to get a new sensor. You're going to get the 26 megapixel sensor, kind of borrowing a little bit from like the X Pro 3 side of things. So that's pretty exciting. It will have one SD card slot, but it will be UHS 1. Just make it 2, give it a little bit of an upgrade, go from there. But it will also have the similar 23mm f2 lens. So a lot of the teleconverters that you use, the your teleconverter for your long, your wide, will be able to work with that as well. Those are those $350 attachments that you can add on to them. Great pieces of glass, highly recommend them. And you get a little bit more versatility out of this, camera right here. But once again, for $1,500, you're almost looking like an X Pro 3. You're gonna get another bump up within the built-in neutral densities. You're gonna go to 4 stops right there, which is great. It's great to have built-in NDs, so you don't need filters per se, but you could still attach filters to these cameras. And you also have the built-in teleconversion as well, 35, 50, and 70 millimeters. So kind of like an emulation of like the Leica Q2 does to an extent. But yet again, once again, you're cropping into that 23 millimeters or 35 full frame. So you're not getting like the actual bokeh of a 70 millimeters as well. So just keep that in mind if you're like, hey, I could save some money on this camera. I don't need the teleconverters. Just keep that in mind when you hear about these features. It's just cropping into it. So just keep that in mind. The EVF will be 100% coverage, and it's rated to be pretty bright. The biggest thing for this one though, and it's what a lot of the X Pro 2 users wanted, it's going to be in this 100V, will be the tilt touchscreen. Don't really care about the touchscreen part of it, but it will have a two-way touch flip screen as well. So street photography, great. So that way you can like kind of shoot from the hip, look down on it, or however you like to use it. Kind of, not what the X Pro 3 has, that little ridiculous thing that they've done. And you're going to be able to do video. You're going to have some good video in this right here. 4K video, 30, 25, 24 frames per second. So you're getting something usable out of that. And you could still do full 1080, 60 frames per second, and slow motion, 120 frames per second as well. So it will not be a bad little beast. With that being said, it will look to have a 2.5 millimeter jack into it. So that way, if you want to use your regular mic, you'll need to have a little bit of an adapter. But if that's the holdback, that's not too bad. But it's not supposed to be 3.5 millimeters like your normal like would be. A lot of people like Fuji for their film simulation modes, and you're still gonna have 17 of them in this X100V. And just basically some of the most popular ones, your classic negative, Pro Via, Acros, just to name a few of the most. You're gonna have those. You're gonna have that capability. Shoot RAW, shoot JPEG, save one-on-one, whatever. You're gonna have the functionality to have those film modes if you really, really want them. And to really round out the leak specs and everything around this, it's gonna be USB-C, which is a very, very smart move, especially now in 2020, where a lot of connectors are moving to that point. It's gonna have the NPW126S battery, so something you're similar in seeing, but it is rumored, and it pretty much says it as well, that it won't have the D-pad on the back of it, which to me, just like the X Pro 3, is a big loss for it. I hate having to use the screen to go between flick up, down, left, right. The D-pad is great. I know they're trying to like clean up the look, but it just doesn't work, and it's not. It's just not smart in my opinion. So that's it right there. That's really all we know, and basically everything about the X100V, which we'll hear about officially in the next couple days. I'll update anything down in the pin post below. But once again, if it's $1,500, there's gonna be a very, very hard sell after you just come out with the X Pro 3 for about $1,700, and even the Dora ones for about $2,000. Because then you're throwing on the teleconverters if you want them, and that's an extra $350. You're almost at $1,900. So you're pricing yourself hard at that point, and that really just makes the Ricoh GR line a little bit more attractive for people that want a smaller, reliable camera for something like that. But very excited to see this. Once I get my hands on it, I will once it officially comes out, probably late February, early March, when it officially hits the stores and everything. So I'll do my best to get my hands on that, just to share my thoughts on it as well. But what are your thoughts? Is this X100V interesting? Is it something you move on from the F to the V? $1,500, is it too much? But once again, if it's $1,200, $1,300, it's gonna sell very, very well for them. And I do see a lot of people stepping up to get it, especially if they even wanna push their video just a bit more as well. That's all we know about the X100V. 3 years later from the F.